you think about this Toshiba or Panasonic, their products are everywhere. And
But I think on certain food items, like ramen noodles, it's very creative, Japanese product is very creative. As far as food products are concerned, perhaps Japanese marketing is not too bad.
Food products, yes.
Yeah, ramen noodles or...
Globally, even in
globally,
India.
yes, right? Yeah.
Yes. Food products. Well,
Yeah, so restaurant business can be a good subject for entrepreneurship.
Sorry?
Restaurant business.
Restaurant business,
Restaurant
yes,
business,
yes.
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 It's interesting to hear some pragmatic targets to the global market or the Indian market. Then, based on the argument, which is the biggest? The targeting the rich or middle class Indian people, or more the base of the pyramid type market?
For Japanese companies, I think they should target the rich to begin with. For the time being, because in general, Japanese products are high quality and expensive. Actually, just last weekend I was speaking at Toto, the toilet, Japanese toilet company. They have a management school in Gotemba, so they asked me to give a lecture to their executive leadership program. They are very aggressive about India, and they asked me this question, very natural question: will our toilets sell in India? And I very strongly told them yes. And they were very clear that we are only targeting the high end. They said, Sanjeev, you are with Tata. And Taj Group of Hotels of India, they are Tata Group. So they said, like, Sanjeev, why don't you help us sell it in Taj? So I gave them examples of, one is these super high quality hotels in India, the super, like Mukesh Ambani, a $2 billion house up in India. He was richest man in the world, still one of the few richest in the world. His personal house is at about $2 billion in the central Bombay. People like them, and also Tata Housing has come up with a house of only Goma yen, 50,000 yen for a house. It's kind of partially prefabricated using some natural like resistant high quality material like jute and all, but it has a short life. This house is, I think, about 20 years life or something like that, but quick to build and cheap, only 50,000 yen for a house. So I gave them example of both Mukesh Ambani's $2 billion house and this Gomayan house. So they told me very clearly, Sanjeev, we want to sell our toilets to Taj. And if you want to provide some toilets for your Gomayan house, we know some companies, we will introduce you. We don't want to touch that business. In Japan in general, actually also we did some marketing for some Japanese companies. One is actually Asahi, the soft drink and beer company. So our strategy for them, advice was very simple. They wanted to sell made in Japan products in India. They were not willing to invest in setting up a factory. If you sell made in Japan product in India, it will be expensive, of course. So our advice was very simple, that in India, Japan is a big brand. Just Japan name itself. People in India don't know Asahi. Not yet. Now some people are getting to know Asahi because of the beer. But in general, many Japanese brands are not known in India. But Japan itself is a big brand. So our advice to them is that position your product at the top in the high class in India and focus on your made in Japan strategy. People will appreciate it, people will buy it at an expensive price. Lots of people like in India, like the bars and restaurants, the high end are more expensive than in Japan. a drink in India, a glass of wine in India typically costs like 800 to 1000 rupees, which is sen Goyapus and Hapchakuyan. Well, now yen is high, but anyway, in India they are more expensive, but the people are buying it. So you can sell the expensive Japanese products there to begin with, high quality. Thank you.
How about selling contents, soft contents mutually? Selling Indian soft content to Japan or selling Japanese cool Japan contents to India. Maybe create that's successful here in Japan. Then also we have some understanding of Bollywood movies or something like that. But do you think that there would be a huge opportunity to do that kind of cultural?
Doraemon and Kureo Shinchan, they are already big in India, huge. So they are already selling.
BBC or
Which one?
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Balls. Yes, animation in India is very popular, but unfortunately, people in India, now probably they know, but until a year ago, 2 years ago, people in India were watching Doraemon or Kureo Shinchan, but they thought they are Chinese. Somehow the contents were good, so people enjoyed it, but the marketing was, at least, anyway, they were selling, so they would not regret. But people did not know well that they have come from Japan. Probably now there is more awareness about Japan and India in the last 1 and 2 years. Prime Minister Noda is going to India, and now lots of Indian media is actually focusing on Japan for some special articles next month. Getting better. But the contents of Japan, they are definitely, animation is good. Software, I don't know. Japan, Hamaji-san? Japanese software and India.
Oh, yes. But again, the bottom line is the sigma of failure. For softwares, especially the banking areas, not me, but we are very, very nervous about creating what they call system engineer. You know, Mizuho,
Yes.
they had a failure. The whole media is right about that. So the president or CIO, CFO, CIO of Mizuho is scared. So they don't want to outsource to anybody. They want to do that within themselves because of the stigma of failure. So this means the trust.
Yes.
If we trust, if we get the trust, if we are in the circle, you're safe and you can make a good business. And the trust, human relation, doesn't mean there's some bribing, etc., which is done in some part of the world. In Japan, trust means I trust you because you can do for me without failure. Right? This is trust.
Right.
Bottom line is stigma of failure. If you clear this one, you can establish good relationship with Japan.
Yes. For example, if a big Japanese bank, if they outsource their software development to Hitachi or NEC or Fujitsu, then even if it fails, it will be an excuse at least that okay, if Mizuho outsourced their system to Fujitsu and the system failed, at least the Mizuho executive has an excuse saying that, well, we outsourced it to Fujitsu, our trusted long-term partner, and they failed, what can I do? But if Mizuho outsources it to an Indian company and then there is a failure, that will be harder to justify and there will be bigger repercussions.
Very, very, very nervous. But I repeat, once we trust, it's a huge opportunity for Indian people, Indian company, I'm sure.
Lots of animation outsourcing is happening to India. animation development. Some Japanese. Bangalore has got a big hub for some Japanese animation.
And also pharma companies.
Pharma. Outsourced from Japan?
No, they try to make a partnership with an Indian companies.
Yes. Daiichi Sankyo and Rambexi was a big deal. Now others are also. So maybe very quickly, sorry, yes. So, sort of, how much time do we have?
35 minutes.
35 minutes more?
Schedule time is 7 to 9:30.
7 to 9:30.
At the end, we will have networking
Okay,
party,
yeah.
so maybe we'll have more 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, last 25 minutes.
Okay. So, maybe I think it's good to continue with the discussion for 10 minutes. Or shall I go through these slides very quickly?
Maybe.
Okay, so let me go through it very quickly. I'll just go through it very fast just to give a framework. So as far as India is concerned, one of the big aspect of India is the long history and the immigration from all over the world. There are people in India from all over the world. So it's a very diverse country. And then Indians are there all over, as you mentioned about in CNN and BBC. The immediate past president of Singapore was Indian. It's a big country, big population of people everywhere in the world, and now they are connecting together. So that's a big strength of India. The strength of India is the education, but Indian education is very academic and conceptual in nature. But then English is very common in India, so that's what makes Indian human resource very versatile and very global in nature. Primary education in India is improving now, so the literacy rate is coming up. Vocational and management education is also coming up. But on the other hand, Indian education is very academic in nature. So there is not enough of vocational education. As you are with the Singapore NK, academic corporate relationship. So that's very weak in India. And that's where actually Japan's contribution is already visible in India, and lots of Japanese vocational education companies are also trying to get into India. But then I think people talk about the caste system in India, but I feel the new divide in India is about English language. People who speak English or people who don't speak English. That's becoming a huge class difference in India now. This is, well, about the politics in India. As we know, it's democracy. But for a democracy, you need an educated population to run a democracy effectively. And that's where India is now getting better. As I put on the bottom, the improving fundamentals for democracy. Our education is improving. Our media is improving. It's very vibrant media now. And our transparency in the system is improving. So that's what is leading to a better politics. And the governance system, actually, this is office of one of my senior from my childhood I have known in Jaipur. This is the roadways head office of Jaipur. This is like that bus, the state bus service head office. So still it's like that, as I put on the top, that all these red things are full of files. So that's the old model of Indian governance. All the things on the paper, bundled up. It's very difficult to find the information. But now they have recently gone computerized, as in the bottom. So now information is getting on the computer, accessible from everywhere. So that's improving the transparency and reducing the corruption in the system, and the speed is getting better. As the fundamental of economy, education is improving. Along with that, the middle class is improving. Service industry, starting with IT, and that's creating the need for infrastructure. Or rate of urbanization. As of now, India has a rate of urbanization as 30%. Only 30% people live in the urban atmosphere, 70% is rural. But in 20 years, it's expected to become 50%. And that means twice the population of Japan in India will move from rural to urban, or new urban infrastructure, new cities will be created. So that's the huge market, huge opportunity in India.